I'm Dylan, this is Thomas, and this is FitForm&Function. Today, we're going to plasti dip some wheels. I suck at paint, and I've noticed that plasti dip is a lot more forgiving. And a lot of people are doing it nowadays. You can peel it right off, you know, you can do whatever, crazy colors, whatever. Plasti dip your whole car if you want to. What we have here today is my 240SX. It's got an SR20 motor in it. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of parts from FR Sport, we got 240 or any other things. FR Sport's a good website, got a lot of things in from them. Radiators, spark plugs, fuel pump, we're going to have some stuff to cover. But today, we're plasti dipping the wheels. This is what we're starting off with. These are 300ZX twin turbo wheels. I have 300ZX calipers and hubs, so I just use these to fit. This is what it looks like plasti dipped. And
looks so much better.
Yes, so much better. And I just wanted to kind of show you how tarnished and messed up these wheels are. And that's why I love plasti dip so far, is because if your wheels are all messed up or if you're horrible at doing it, this is very forgiving and it helps out.
It's a very cheap alternative also, rather than just painting these wheels.
Yeah, we got this at Lowe's for like $6 a can. I think one can probably do it very least 2 wheels. So where we're going to start off is, if Thomas, you want to pull it up. One thing that I've noticed that you probably want to do is just get a little extension or a screwdriver or whatever and knock this cap out. Don't do it with the cap in, because this pretty much makes, you can go ahead and put it down, pretty much makes a film that you can peel off. And you're going to want to do this separately so you don't have a film overlay between the cap and the rim. That way when you have to take the cap off or whatever, get new tires, whatever, you don't rip it out, doesn't start peeling, and just looks plainly nasty.
As Dylan said, you can also experiment with plasti dip in many ways. Try it on different parts of your car, different interior parts. It's just a fun thing to mess around with, and when you make a mistake, it can easily be peeled off.
Very first thing you do when you do plasti dipping, the spray cans really well, but you want to make sure it's very shaken up, because it will drip, and then when it drips it starts to cause smudges on the wheels and it just looks horrible.
Yeah, and you have to refill.
Yeah, but then again, it's still not very expensive. $6 a can at Lowe's. You can do a couple wheels. Very first thing, get somebody who's very good at moving their hand up and down, and get them to shake the can.
That'd be me.
Up and down. There you go.
Yeah.
Alright.
I've had enough fun with that.
Now the best experience I have found, we're going to start with the center cap, is to do a nice glossy coat thick instead of doing very sporadic light coats and doing a million times. Just do a very thick glossy coat. Now of course it's going to be flat when it comes out. We're not using the glossifier, which they do have, but we're just going to do a nice thick coat. Just make sure your spray can is all clean. We're just going to do a nice thick coat on the cap.
Oh, and by the way, if you're unfamiliar with plasti dip, they don't just sell it in black, they also sell it in many other colors, a variety of colors, and they also sell a glossifier to give the paint, the plasti dip, a very glossy finish.
Alright, we left this wheel kind of dingy, all scratched up. This wheel is probably 23 years old. Just to show you how much better it is to use plasti dip than paint. Now of course if you want to paint, go for it. I suck at it, so I'm not going to use it. I hated painting things. When this come out, I wanted to use it. So we're just going to go quickly over it. I am not covering the tire because this stuff rips right off. It's very easy. If you are using paint, what I do suggest you do is to get a deck of cards and just peel it right around the rim between the tire, spray it, and then of course you can just remove the deck cards and you're good to go. But we're going to start, and we're just going to spray it all down. Like I say, get that nice glossy coat. Don't forget to shake it up a little bit in between as you're spraying. Again, I didn't even worry about covering the valve.
By the way, the first coat doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to apply more than one coat. So don't worry about if you miss a few little spots here and there. love that smell.
Now, there's a couple ways to do it. You can do it like I'm doing and just spray thick and get it all about the same, I'm going to say, wetness, and it dries up pretty good. There's a few ways. You can do light coats and just do many coats. I'm going to show you basically the most crude way to do it, and you can only get better. So, just to show you how well it works. What were you saying before you rudely interrupted me?
Alright. And by the way, you don't have to take the wheel off to dip these, but it is much easier to take the wheel off. Save you a lot of time.
Yeah, you really don't have to tape anything up if you do it this way. Just make sure you get all the ridges. It's easier if you get it pretty well coated the first time, so the second coat doesn't have to be as precise.
The great thing about this stuff is it dries quick.
Yes, it dries pretty quick. I would wait roughly 30 minutes to 45 minutes in between coats, and then before you actually use the application, even if it isn't just a wheel, I would wait a couple hours. But just to show you a few quick things, what we're going to do later on in some of the episodes, we have some stuff over here. Bought a bunch of stuff from FR Sport. The Z32 fuel filter we're going to throw on. Basically doing some maintenance stuff on the SR20. I noticed the spark plugs are all wrong that are in it. We got the install kit for a Walbro 255 fuel pump. Everybody runs them in 240s. They work very well. VCV valve, something people forget to put on cars and forget that it's a maintenance item. And of course spark plugs. Spark plugs that were in them were all wrong. They were BKR5E. The best thing to run is a BKR7E. Now that's even if you're running a CA, a SR, RB, whatever. It's going to fit and it's going to work. Turbo applications, you're going to need something a little bit colder. It's going to work great. And everything's sitting on a aluminum radiator. Mine's leaking. We're going to fix that. And hopefully everything will work out great.
So as you can see here, coat 1 has officially finished drying up. And now we're going to begin our second coat to go ahead and finish up this rim.
Alright, and as you can see, right before we started spraying, this was basically just a touch-up, because it was, and that was really just one coat before we started spraying again. It was really just touching up, because there's a few transparent parts. You probably couldn't see it with the camera, but there was a few on certain angles you could see, kind of getting back to where that chrome was. It's really just touching it up, and it looks like we're just about out with that can, and that's the second can. Or was it the third?
So as you can see, 4 wheels can easily be done with pretty much 2 cans.
Yeah, you might need 3 depending on what you screw up or the wheel size or whatever. But 2 or 3 cans and you're good to go. So like I said, we're gonna let this dry. I have seen it one time where it just bubbled up. I don't know if it's from humidity or what it was, but you just peel it right off and you're good to go. There's no problems, whatever. The paint or whatever material is up under is not going to be tarnished. Do be careful. This stuff is not exactly like paint. When you go to wash it, really the only thing you're going to use is water. You're not going to be using chemicals. It's going to not work well. And if it stains or gets really dirty with mud or grime or whatever, then you're not going to be able to clean it very well. When they say with their glossifier is basically a type of clear for this, you can clean it just like you can a normal car for the most part. So this acts kind of like a matte black or a flat black, so you can't clean it as well, but it's going to work out. keep touching it up and it'll be good. So we had chrome rims, now we have flat black rims, so they're going to be lighter weight and they're going to be faster.
Yeah. Bunch of horsepower gains right there, buddy.
Yep.